What is up, everybody? It is Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. Always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And we have another special conversation on the show tonight. And before we go any further, thanks for everyone who has tolerated our delay. Much appreciated, not taken for granted. So let's get right at it. There is a wonderful play production coming to Toronto called Lord, Why Do I Keep Choosing the Wrong Man? And it's coming up on February 26th and 27th, I believe, in Toronto, where I am. And there's two shows. And one of the great things about this production are that Sherelle, for anyone who's an R&B aficionado, is going to be part of the program, part of the play, one of the main stars. So we have two of the people involved in the play with us tonight. We have Emmanuel. How are you, Emmanuel? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be here.
Great. Emmanuel Seegars, who's a playwright for the stage play, Lord, Why I Do Keep Choosing the Wrong Man. We also have the producer for the Toronto's leg, George Fynn. How are you, George?
I am doing fantastic. You get that? Fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely fantastic, Finn. Of course you're doing fantastic. And also we have Karlyn Percil, who is the leader of a wonderful organization called Sister Talk and has been a longtime friend to bring some ladies' perspective on not so much the play, but why do some women choose the wrong man? So I'm going to first start off. Emmanuel, can you share a little bit about the play with our audience, please?
The play itself has so many different different dimensions to it. It's the young lady who's choosing the wrong man. The mother has chose the wrong man. The daughter has chose the wrong man. The son has chose the wrong man. It's the entire family is just choosing the wrong man.
Did you say the son chose the wrong man?
Yes, I did say the son.
Okay. I just made note. I learned something.
Okay. So let me ask something. Let me ask something, Emmanuel. How much of this is fiction and how much of this is fact? Is it something that you can relate to, or is it just a general societal state?
Well, no, I think it's 50-50. It's something that you can relate to because it shows what happens when a father steps out of a home. And, because the son, his dad, of course, is his role model. And just like even with the daughters, they look up to their fathers. And now he's, all of a sudden no longer in the home. And he's been their father for years. And one of them is like his stepson. And now he's no longer owning his stepson. So it's a lot of realism that people can relate to.
Excellent. I'm going to bring in Karlyn, even though she's not starring in the play, but I know she has enough talent to star in the play. Because you lead a wonderful group called Sister Talk, I am sure with the elephant stories that ladies share with you, relationships come up many times.
Yeah.
When you hear the question, why do some women choose the wrong man? What does that make you think based on what other ladies have shared with you?
It makes me think, and just to clarify for those people who don't know, and it's so great to be here tonight. So thank you, Dr. Vibe. Thank you, George. And I can't wait to see your play. It's an elephant story is a shame-based or fear-based event or something that has happened in our lives that we haven't fully dealt with. So it's very interesting in terms of your play. Of the patterns, our patterns and our learned behaviors usually comes from our environment and our parents, our mom, our dad, and that is how we learn how to love. That is how we learn how a relationship should be. And a lot of women and men as well, we adopt those beliefs, we adopt those love examples, and we end up modeling those behaviors, sometimes whether or not we're conscious of it. So this brings to mind that that pattern that women fall into, and we follow it, and we do it unconsciously, year after year, date after date. We go after the same man, and until we deal with that elephant story and we actually challenge those beliefs, we will continuously choose the wrong guy. Or in this case, we'll continuously choose, because at the moment when we're choosing him, we don't think he's the wrong guy, because based on the belief system we have, on the love story we've built, he is the right guy for us, and he is the perfect guy. But usually we often love from a place of shame and worthiness and not good enough. So which means we're also attracting the wrong guy.
Okay. George, I want to get you involved. What made you bring this production to Toronto? How did you hear about it, and what did it take for you and your team to bring it to Toronto?
So, as many may or may not know, I've done previous plays in the past, and I've always tried to look for plays that strike a chord just from the mentioning of the name. So that to me is one of the dynamics in my choice of play, something that will get the attention of the people, and then go into looking at the story behind the name to see if the story and the contents will also resonate with them enough to make the combination of name and content a solid piece. So when the name struck me first, and I went to research, learn about the content, and the collaboration of both just sold me. And then most importantly, I've done plays before, I've dealt with different play producers, and I've had a little bit of experience now with who to do business with. So the third wheel was Emmanuel. And so in speaking with Emmanuel, Emmanuel may not sound it, but he has some God-fearing in him. And that aspect about his character was one that sold me that here's the play, here's the content, and here's the producer that I want to work with. And it's a win-win. And clearly, when this play comes on the 25th and the 26th and 27th, I will rest my case. The rest will speak for itself. I think the city will be really, really buzzing the day or two after this play, because it's really the current situation with what we're living in. It has contents as modern, and as well as it has stuff that is traditional, like Karlyn mentioned earlier. But he's able to fuse it all nicely. But my reasoning for choosing it, the name struck me, the contents was exactly what I was looking for, and the person was a trustworthy individual that I know that will deliver exactly as the play content read. So that's really about it. So Emmanuel, there's a lot of expectations, my brother, in Toronto.
Well, we've been all over. We played in Chicago, New York, LA. We were ready for Toronto. Go ahead. But the show itself, it's funny, it's exciting. It's not just your typical gospel stage play. It crosses different boundaries, and there's so many different layers to it. You have Curtis Blake from Tyler Perry, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You have Donald Gray from The Woman of My Dream. He's a playwright and producer. You have Joyce Obey from John P. Key. So the list goes on and on. We definitely have a lot of talent. We have a young lady from Donald Lawrence going to be in the play. Blanche McAllister. She's starring playing the mother. So we're loaded and ready, man. It's so exciting. We're in a rehearsal right now. Tonight, and it's awesome, man. You guys are definitely in for a treat.
Excellent. Emmanuel, I want to know, do you remember the first time the play went live? Do you remember that moment?
No, I don't remember that moment, but I do remember the first time when we was in New York City at the Beacon Theater. We opening up, and to see the name on the light at the Beacon Theater, it really blew my mind, because and working in the industry for 10, 15 years, and now to be at the Beacon Theater. And what I remember about that moment was the truck driver got lost and ended up somewhere totally different with all the props and everything else. So I would never forget that moment. It took us about 10 hours to do a load in because the truck got lost. But this is what I do. This is my passion. This is what I was born to do.
Excellent. And how did you manage to get Sherelle involved in the production?
I was working with a company called Marvelous Entertainment, and they brought several people to the show. Within the play, we had Howard Hewitt, we had Melville Moore, we had Glenn Jones, Mars Day, Shirley Murdoch, and then they brought in Sherelle. And I was like, oh my God, this is the Sherelle. I call her Sunday Monday. So she has all this energy. She's wonderful to work with. Her, Shirley Murdoch, Morris Day, but Sherelle really just stood out, and I love that song. So when we had an opportunity to do it, I was so enjoyed. I was like, hey, we can't bring everybody this time around, but we definitely want to bring Sherelle, and she's always been there for me. She's been in all my productions, and she's going to do a fantastic job, I'm sure, there in Toronto.
Excellent. Karlyn, focusing on what you do with women, is it becoming any easier, or is it becoming more difficult for the ladies out there to find the right man?
That's a loaded question.
That's why we have you, because I know you can handle it.
I'll answer it this way, and speaking from my own personal experience, we have to want it bad enough, meaning that we have to be willing to put down our mask and take the risk on ourselves and ask for the kind of love that we really want. Because I was choosing that wrong. Like, I could have been in your play. Like, I could have been the girl who kept on choosing the wrong guy over and over again, because that was my story. And I think the genius behind, as George mentioned, the title alone will get a lot of attention, because we've all been there, and a lot of women will be able to relate to that topic and that subject, because we all have been there. And when I think of my own patterns and consistently choosing the wrong guy, a lot of it came from that place of not deserving. I didn't think I deserved a good man, and I kept on repeating my same mistakes. And again, what you put out is what you will attract. And the bottom line is, we have to be willing to admit that we are part of the problem. And it's not just the guys. Though I know Tyrese and with that new show, they're saying it's not you, it's us men. I think we equally have a part to play in that whole love or relationship game. But going back to your question, I think it's getting easier, because I think women want more. We know we deserve more. We know we want love. We deserve love. And for those who are willing to fight for it because they believe in themselves and they love who they are, I think they will step up to the plate and do the work that will allow us to choose the right guy. Because that's what I did. I did the work. I got naked. I mean, not physically naked, but I got naked in terms of being vulnerable and tapping into my elephant story. How was I contributing to the whole journey of selecting the wrong guy? What kind of vibe and energy was I putting out there? What was I telling myself? What are some of the stories I was telling those guys that gave them permission to treat me the way they wanted to treat me? So once we're clear on that, and we know what we want love to look like, and when we know how we want to be loved, trust me, the universe sends him. God sends him. Whoever your higher power is will send him. Because my husband turned out to be that guy. And yes, today we're married. We just celebrated our 1 year and a half wedding anniversary. It's possible. It's possible to shift from the wrong guy to the right guy.
Can I add or ask a question, a follow up? Karlyn, there is this perception that the wrong guy or the right guy is not necessarily found in the African, Canadian, or Black community. Mm-hmm. Is that still relevant, or is that still existing in your sense and in the circle of women talk that you guys have?
No, I don't see that in, our circles and our conversation. What I keep hearing is that, that there is a lack of guys in terms of guys are not stepping up and asking or talking to the women. Like, yes, a woman is ambitious and she has her life together and she's doing stuff. That is an invitation, guys, for you to talk to her. I know that there are some people, because my husband, he's European, he's from Malta. Did I set out to go look for a non-Black guy? No, I've dated Black guys my entire life. But when I opened up myself to love, he was the one who showed up and he treated me the way I wanted to be treated. So for me, what I have observed is that I think, and a lot of the women in the circle or in the group or some of the other women outside of the group I've spoken to, I think women are willing and ready and open for love, though there are some women who prefer to date only Black men, which is fine. But I always say, just stay open for love, and however it comes, just open up your heart to receive it.
Right.
I'm going to get back to Emmanuel actually, I'll get back to okay. Let me just say something. A number of years ago, Karlyn and I had a conversation about this subject. I don't know if she remembers it, but we had a conversation about this subject. And yes, it was at Harlem Restaurant.
All right.
And I said to Karlyn, yes. I said to her, you intimidate a lot of men because you know what you want, you know who you are.
Uh-huh.
And
I'll just leave it at that.
Not a curse though for us, though, Dr. Vibe, and maybe Emmanuel can also answer that.
It's not a curse.
Why?
It's not a curse.
Do you
not a curse for
address that in the show, or do we want to leave that, for the audience to come and figure it out?
That's your second. That's going to be your second appearance on my show. We'll leave that there. Emmanuel, get back with you. What has made this production special compared to the other ones that you have done?
I think because of the fact that it deals with what we go through every day. Fathers walking out of their home, they want something superficial. Enough is never enough. And then you got daughters looking up to their fathers, and then now they have that same type of behavior because now they're acting out like they're sort of choosing the wrong man because, like in this particular play itself, the guy's the wrong man. Now the son is rebelling because his father walked out on his mother like the last guy walked out. It's like, who stayed? You know what I mean? So they, to me, it's just to be a part of a production that tells a story about really what's happening in the home. And it shows what happens when, you have the uncles, the drug dealers, and, being the sugar daddy and taking care, or the ones that's married and pretending to be single, and I love that's one of the characters in the play itself because one of the ladies, she ends up getting involved with the married man and she thinks that he's going to leave. And if you know the deal, they're not leaving. They just want to have fun.
This play touches on everything.
What are the kinds of feedback you're getting, Emmanuel, about the play? What are you getting feedback from women, and what are you getting feedback from men?
A lot of the feedback from the men is they're like, I'm glad I came out to see the show. It had a powerful message. Everything shine is not gold. I want to try to stay and make my family work. Family is important. The women, they see now that it's not their job to choose. Just because I don't even want to use the word thirsty, but you got to know what your value is, and you got to be able to wait. The Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, but he's also obtains favor with God. Sometimes we're just impatient and don't want to wait on God.
In his time, not your time, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. George, you laughed there. What was the giggle about?
Because Emmanuel is doing multiple things. He is talking and waving off other people on the side there. You're doing fine, Emmanuel. You gave us a little sense of your spiritual connectedness. Give us a bit more on how it is that your spiritual side completed, the makeup of this play. What did you bring in from your spiritual side to this play?
Well, for one thing, I'm sort of serious, and I know in order to do plays, because I've been involved with A Good Man Is Hard to Find, my grandmother played for me, Daddy Well, multiple different plays, and I think it has to be different levels, and for me, I wanted to have a funny message, I wanted to have a message, but I wanted to also the story well developed where you can be well entertained. Because I think too, by me being a spiritual person, people don't want to go to what we call a church play. They don't want to be entertained with somebody preaching, oh, God, Zion 49. They want to be entertained with a story, but have some spiritual overtone as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
very blessed.
They want to have fun. They don't want someone to just preach at them. They want to see their aunt. They want to, we got an Aunt Shirley. Everybody has a aunt. Whatever comes up, comes out. She's our comic relief. We have character Luther. Luther is like town drunk, but he says, I might be a drunk, but I take care of my family, or whatever, because he still has an issue, but he still values his responsibility in his home.
Excellent. Well, because we only have 4 squares, you can't. People are watching. Unfortunately, you can't come in. But if you have any comments, please type them in on the side. Also, thanks to the people who are watching on Periscope Live. I'm very blessed because not too often I get on one of these conversations. I'm with 2 other people who host shows, so they can ask questions too of our special guests. So George just asked one. Karlyn, do you have a question or 2 for Emmanuel at all? Put you on the spot. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can continue, but go ahead. No, if you have something great, if not, I continue on. But please feel free to, George and Karlyn, if you have questions.
Yeah,
definitely do.
I'll pop in a question a bit later.
Okay,
actually,
no problem.
It did. Sorry. Yes. I'm on. So my question to you,
I know you are.
From your own personal perspective, why do some women choose the wrong man?
Boom.
I go back. I think a lot of time is that they don't want to wait. It's patience. You have to have patience, and you got to still know your value no matter what. So when Mr. Wrong come along, you can't be so lonely that you say yes because you just want someone in your space. Because what God is doing, he's preparing your Boaz for you. But you don't want to wait. I can't say what I really want to say. But he's preparing the right one for you. So now you settle. And when you settle, and this joker says all the right things, then you wonder, how did I get stuck here? Is it because one or two times when somebody say something and don't mean it, their body language, whatever it is they're trying to portray. So I think a lot of times, women don't want to be patient and wait and allow God to send that right man. So they settle because why? Number one, they could be a single parent. They could be lonely. No matter, you could be successful. Like I heard a man was talking about the fact, like you're powerful. I can tell that you're a powerful woman. So a lot of brothers, we're intimidated. So we don't even know how to come in your space. We can look at you as like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. But I don't even know how to approach you because I don't feel like maybe I'm on your level. And at the same time, you're just looking for somebody to keep it real because you've had men on your level that really wasn't about the real deal because you want just give me you, not give me the representative.
Yeah. So let me jump in here and say something that's very real as well. And that is, Emmanuel, as easy as it is to say, from some of the conversations I've had, and Karlyn, you're a woman, you tell me, it is the most difficult thing for a woman to be lonely and remain lonely. The sacrifices needed for them to remain lonely is so difficult to make sometimes that, and I've heard as many times, that the settlement, as painful as it is, if you see it as just a settlement, is less painful than being lonely. And so this cycle of making the wrong choice because it's less pain is an easier transition than to stay and be in the pain.
Yes, but to me, the settling in for the wrong guy instead of being patient and waiting is even more pain in the long run. Because for sure, we know that relationship will not last. It will not last. And the worst thing that you can do when you're lonely is to enter a relationship.
But you hope and you pray, and you never make the choice consciously that is the wrong guy. You, in your own mind, lower your standard and climatize yourself, and you say that's a good one. Yes.
All right, George, hold on. Here it is. There's always warning signs. We just ignore those signs. Women see the warning sign. When the guy don't answer his phone on certain days, or the guy can't spend the night, there's always signs. When the guy's married, he's going to get up and go home. You may see 1 or 2 nights, but eventually what's in you is going to come out of you, or whatever you hide is going to come to the dark. It's going to come to the light. So they see the signs. They just don't want to believe the sign. The sign says, he's married. No, he's not. The sign says, yield. He can't take care of me financially. Well, I make the money. So I think that there's always signs. We just don't want to pay attention to them.
Good point.
I agree. I
Okay.
think there are always signs, and I think somebody just mentioned as well, which I think is also a very valid point. A preach as kid said that is that difficulty a result of not telling the difference between being lonely and being alone? And I think that's a very valid point. But I'll just say one more thing before I hand it over back to you, Dr. Vibe, is that women don't spend enough time with themselves. Women don't know themselves well enough, and women don't love themselves well enough to know the difference. That's one. I think when you get to know who you are and you know your worth and you love who you are, yes, you will feel lonely. And there are times that you might feel, and that lonely will feel more like, I wish I had some company, but you will not settle. Because a woman who is strong in who she is and she believes in herself and she knows that God is sending somebody for her, she enjoys her own company, and she takes her time and she uses it to do things that interest her. She does things that bring her joy, and she goes out there and she lives her life, because that's how the guy will come as well.
Good point.
Good stuff. I just want to say thanks for Single Moms for joining in on Periscope. Preacher's Kid is a regular contributor to the Dr. Vibe show, so thank you so much for a good conversation piece. I would say that this, and of course we're never going to have enough time with this, but is this, and I'll ask each one of you, becoming less of an issue, more of an issue, or is it staying the same? Or Karlyn said earlier that she thinks things are getting better with regards to ladies picking the right guy or being patient for the right man in their life. What do you think, Emmanuel and George?
I'll take this, Emmanuel, then you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a DJ, and so my response is from a perspective of maybe being in the younger generation and seeing what's going on with the younger generation. From that perspective, I see it getting worse. From the young men that I talk to, how they so lack in respect for women in their age group. So a typical 20 to 30-year-old man does not have a great deal of value in a woman that's got all the right makings necessarily, but they see a great deal of value in a woman that will take care of them. You hear me? It's no longer about them taking care of the woman. They want women that will take care of them. Women that have a mom or dad that has got money. Women that they don't have to spend it. They don't want the high maintenance thing. A lot more of them are getting that now, to the point where there's a good talk in that generation in the urban realm where they're actually moving away from Black women because the other side takes care of them. The other side, meaning the white, Chinese, other ethnic groups, have more wealth and support their desires and don't give them the headache. And so when I ask them, well, how about the right thing to do as a man? Well, no, why would you do that when women take care of you? So from the younger generation, it's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. Maybe as we go into the 30, 40-year-olds, much more mature men, that may be something that others can speak of. But on the young side, no, if anything, it's getting worse. They're getting it too easy, too free.
Manuel?
Well, I don't know. I just still think that it is. I think there's a lot of men out there, just like for me, I'm 49 and I'm single, but I think that you got to believe, like, number one, we talk about why do I keep choosing the wrong man? The women got to stop choosing. See, because now what they think they can buy him. And so even after you buy him, he's still not yours. You know what I'm saying? So I think, too, and just like you were talking about other racial Black men going outside their race, maybe they are because sometimes they don't want to deal with a challenge. A sister may more so be a challenge for you. So maybe she doesn't talk, going outside of your race, maybe they don't talk back or whatever. I just think sisters are more of a challenge. So we're looking for the easy way out. I'll go date outside of my race because they'll listen to me and won't talk back. You just got to be a man and stand up and say, if that's what I like, it's not based upon color. It's based upon who you love. And if I love somebody, it doesn't matter if she's Chinese, Caucasian, Afro-American. You know, I like Afro-American, but to me, I just love love. So whatever color that is, I'll accept it.
Good point. Just on Periscope, Single Moms was saying, broken women attract broken men. Anyone want to respond to that comment?
I mean,
George, you're laughing again.
Well, I think we're all broken in the sense that because that's how the light gets in, right? As kids from birth, we're wired for struggle, we're wired for connection, and life, this journey is meant to help us to reconnect to our authentic selves. That's how it has been designed, and we are here to help each other on that journey home. But I always look at it, and in that sense, it's hurt people attract hurt people. Right? Whatever you put out is what you will get. And the whole idea is not because we have found love, it doesn't mean that automatically like life is a bed of roses and it's great and you'll never have an argument, etc., etc. And I'm sure Dr. Vibe, you can speak to this. It is still a work in progress, and every day you have to choose love. Absolutely. So the people who run away from the work in a relationship or get into a relationship, they're not ready for a committed relationship. And that's okay. If you just want to go out there and have sex and play around and just mess around, give the woman the opportunity for her to say yes or no. Let her, don't take that decision out of her hand and lie to her and pretend you want a relationship when all you really want is sex. I think men just need to be more honest with women. Women as well need to be more honest with themselves and with men as well. If all you want is just that, say that. But also, if you want a relationship, value yourself enough and love yourself enough to wait for it. It's worth the wait. There's a whole lot of things that you can do while you're waiting. And also, I'd like to reintroduce, and women should actually hold out for that, ask a man to court you. The guy before my husband, I said, I want you to date me. I want you to court me. I want you to take me out. He didn't want to. That's okay. It means that we're not on the same level. So what did I do? I walked away. We don't have to try to get men and bash it into their heads to do what we want them to do. If a man's not ready, he's not ready. Doesn't matter what you do, he's not going to get ready. But anyways,
I'm going to add two.
That's it.
No problem. No, it's okay. I'm going to add two or three quick things here. There's the word intimacy. I always say to people, into me, see. Take a look at yourself. Into me, see. Also, before you have a relationship, have a friendship.
Right.
And one of the challenges is that a lot of us have never been taught about how to have a friendship. And I'm talking ladies and guys. Mm-hmm. So that may be one of the reasons why we have this challenge in this area. There's that old song, why can't we be friends? Be friends before anything else. If you have friendship as a foundation, then the sun will rise, has a better opportunity to rise on something becoming better and stronger and longer lasting. So I just wanted to put that in. Anyone else want to add to that? I think was very important.
The last thing I'd like to add is that the person that you befriend first is yourself.
Yep.
Befriend yourself.
That is the first person.
Yes, that's the first person you become a friend to, because you will be able to stand up for that friend in every relationship and ask for what you want. A lot of women forget that they have the right and to have the courage to ask for what you want. If you want more love, ask for more love. Whatever you need, ask for it.
Yeah, but that's what I think I love about the play and what people have witnessed across the country and seeing the play. The women can see the different types of men that they allow to come into their lives. Like you said earlier, if a guy is married, just say you're married, because this girl ends up getting involved with the guy that's lying to her and didn't give her that option. And she pays an ultimate price. I can't tell you what it is. You have to come out and see it. But I think they're not giving them an option. Now, just what he had said earlier, George was talking about going outside of your race. One of the daughters ends up going outside of her race thinking that there's something magical over there. Whoever you are is who you are. It's not based upon the color. If I'm bad over here, I'm going to be bad over there. What you have to deal with is yourself, because even with me even writing the play, it came from a base of my mother choosing the wrong man. You know, she was wanting, because she was a single mother, so she chose someone to be there to help raise us because she needed the finances, but versus waiting on God or dating a man. Because when men start putting out money, there's nothing free. So,
excellent. Now
it's a whole new level.
I want to get this next conversation piece in from a preacher's kid saying, how often is the problem also related to one's focus on the end goal while the others is focused on the moment?
There's a disconnect there. Right?
I think, yeah, there's, and communication is always key, right? And I think, you know, to his comment, a lot of people are afraid to bring that up and address it because women are afraid to appear as being too needy. We're afraid to you know, like put ourselves out there. But what I always encourage women to do is to just speak your truth, be honest, honor the moment. And we shouldn't try to live too much in the future. Focus on the moment. If the moment is you're going on a date, the person's treating you right, focus on the experience. I think we should know where we're going. You need to have a vision. You know what your end result is. But I think too often we live our lives in the future and we end up missing on the present. Hence the reason why in some cases we end up missing, you know, the very signs that Emmanuel talked about earlier, and we end up settling with the wrong guy. I would say be present, focus on the moment, focus on the current experience you have in front of you, and just enjoy that and let that lead the way.
Wonderful. On that comment, we're going to look at our closing comments because we're coming to the top of the hour. And thank you so much, everybody. People are still coming in. Hey, you'll have to catch a replay. But on, well, here, we'll let one question in by Blacks. Is the issue of finding a good man more prevalent among church-going women? I was going to ask that question. Is this more of an issue amongst church-going women than non-church-going women? Emmanuel, what do you think?
Probably church-going women.
Why?
What issue, though? Is it the issue of why some women choose the wrong man, or the issue of what we just talked about?
Yeah. Why do you feel it's more prevalent in the church than outside of the church?
What, women choosing the wrong man?
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Okay.
Oh, unfortunately, okay.
Oh,
I saw a smile. Emmanuel, you back?
Is the issue of finding, a good man more prevalent among
A good man.
Okay.
Among church-going women. So, Emmanuel, is that what do you feel? Is that the case?
I didn't quite understand the question. Was going in and out, and I was trying to understand exactly what the question was.
Okay. What the question was is the issue of finding a good man more prevalent amongst church-going women or non-church-going women, in your opinion?
I think both. I think both. I think both are experience. It doesn't. I don't think it's whether you in the church or out of the church. To me, I think there's a lot of good men outside the church. I think there's a lot of good men in the church. So I just think it's based upon your experience and what you're willing. I think sometimes, again, we know what we want. It's like, I like Mercedes-Benz. Sometimes we just settle. It's like, if you know what you like, go after what you want and be patient to get it. Instead of just going, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this Volkswagen because they say my credit will allow me to get it versus me getting my credit score up to where I can get the Mercedes-Benz what I want. And I think that even in a relationship sometimes, if you know what you want, it's like, I always like things I can't afford. High maintenance women. Those are my type. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just think that, we just have to be patient, and that's the whole process, and having a spiritual foundation. And I think, again, that's what the show is about. It's funny. It shows you different levels of relationships, but it all comes down to having a balance.
I just to echo what you mentioned, Emmanuel, I think part of it too is that there's this societal pressure. Women have been conditioned to grow up, get married, get a job, and have some kids, the house and the dog, and the car and the cat. And I think a lot of women feel the pressure to get married by a certain age because, unfortunately, society has defined success as being in a relationship and being married and having a man. And a lot of women have somehow defined their worth by that. And I think that contributes to the whole pressure that women feel, and they end up just settling because, oh, my biological clock is ticking. I better just hurry up and get the guy now so then I can get that baby in before I'm 40. Like, there's just so much pressure as well. I just want to mention this. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying based on how society has defined success and what it means to be a woman, a lot of it is centered around you have to get married, you need to have a husband, you need to have that child in the house, etc., etc. Unfortunately, that very same value and pressure is not put onto men. So you find a lot of men are just playing around, hopping from one girl to the next and having kids all over the place, and they're not being held accountable. And again, it goes back to the love story that those men have learned from. Where did you learn your love story from? And I remember we had I was having a conversation with Subliminal, and he mentioned that he learned what love was from one of his ex's parents when he saw them in the kitchen dancing, kissing, the dad was kissing the mom's forehead, etc., etc. He learned that from somewhere else, not from his home. And I think it's important to acknowledge that a lot of men and women may not have positive examples of what it means to be in a healthy relationship, which also influences the actions and the choices some of those men and women make. So sometimes it's not as cut and dry as, women are impatient, or, women are not making the right choices. But I think there's a lot that's in the bigger picture. And I think both parties, both men and women, need to spend the time with themselves to find out, what is your love story? Where is it coming from? And what are you bringing to the table in the sense of who you attract, and why do you keep attracting the same man? If you keep attracting the same man 3-4 times, girl, take a date in. Like, just don't date anymore. Take a fast, stay at home, sit with yourself, figure out what's going on, do the work, and trust me, that is the best work that you will do in your life. The best. Because you deserve happiness, not heartbreaks. You deserve happiness, lots.
I think, Emmanuel, you may need to get Karlyn a part in one of your future plays. I'm telling you.
I can't act, though.
Oh, you're just natural.
Yeah.
You're just natural. Well, on that point, we're going to start winding down the conversation. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Emmanuel for taking time out of his positive, productive schedule. I'd like to thank George for taking the time to bring this wonderful production. Also, Emmanuel, actually, your friendship. Thank you for your friendship. Because if you didn't have the friendship with each other, we wouldn't be seeing this here. Thanks to Karlyn. This is the first time she's on Blab, and I know ladies want her back, so I'm going to get her back. So a few 30-second final words. Karlyn, how can people get in touch with you? And you can also type it in at the side. So how can people get in contact with you?
Awesome. People can follow me at Karlyn Percil on Twitter. And we actually have a love and relationship guide that's coming out soon. So that'll be available for women with a workbook. So if you're looking to do the work and you want to enhance your love relationships, look out for that. And Emmanuel, I'm looking forward to your play. I'll be there. I'll bring the girls. We'll come support.
And I'm very blessed to have Karlyn as a friend. We've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
I publicly and privately endorse what she does. So if ladies want a good soulmate, I'm pointing you this way, Karlyn. So, and if you have any questions on how to get a hold of her, just give me a call or email me. We'll get you in touch. George, final words.
Those that are online and just a discussion speaks volumes to what is to be expected on the 26th and the 27th. Just the insight that Emmanuel shared with us in the conversation here gives me more excitement, looking forward to what the play is going to pan out like and how things are all going to come together. I'm very much looking at how he infuses Sherelle in this play, what role she's going to play. That remains to be seen. I'm not going to ask you that, Emmanuel. I want to witness it myself. Toronto, we're going to have this conversation again in the month of love in February. I think around Valentine's will be a good time, Dr. Vibe, to bring this into a form where a lot of love will be in the air, and it'll be insightful to hear if some of that love that Karlyn described today is the type of love that comes out around Valentine's, or is this superficial love, one of those that comes out for 24 hours and then is dead, right? They all go back to their normal selves and the world is normal again. So on that note, thanks for having me. I look forward to participating in future shows that you have. I wear different hats, and you can follow me at DJ Fynntastic on all social media. I am good. And I look forward to when Emmanuel comes to town. Now, Emmanuel will be in town on the 25th because the play's on the 26th. We want to get him at least a day before. So we'll be making the circles around the media circle. And who knows, we might have him back again on your show, Doc. Bye.
Hey, the mic and the screen is open. Emmanuel, last comments for you, Emmanuel.
Well, hey guys, I really look forward to coming to Toronto. This is my first time coming out of the country. Like I said, we played all over the United States, LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. So this is my first time coming out of the country. I met George and we talked on the phone. Can't wait to meet him in person. But I just want to leave your listeners with this, and this is what I believe in my heart. If you lose everything, if you lose your car, your job, your friendships, if you lose everything, your husband, your wife, if you lose everything, and if you still got Jesus, you got enough to start all over again.
Amen.
Boom. Love it.
Amen.
Fantastic.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, I'm the host. I'm Dr. Vibe. I'm a host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. You can catch me. There's my website address. You can catch me on Twitter. And I love doing conversations, and that's what I do. So I've been doing this for over 8-9 years online, and I continue and enjoy it as much as I ever have. Thank you to each one of you for taking the time out of your positive, productive schedule. Thanks to everyone who watched this live or who watched the replay. We will continue our love conversation next month because it sounds like George wants to continue the conversation. And I know Karlyn never passes by an opportunity to talk about love because she's in love. I know she's in love.
Right, she's got a rock. Show them again, Karlyn. Show them. Karlyn, show them. There you go.
You can see that glow on her face, like, I got the right one.
Most importantly, I just love helping women to get themselves ready to receive the love that they deserve because I have been there. I have been in that unworthiness section. I know the work it takes to get there.
Yep.
So I can support women on the journey.
All right, then.
You know what? I'll just end off the conversation. I've seen Karlyn at not so good times, but I am so happy and blessed to see her at some of her finest right now.
All right.
So everyone, catch the play if you're in Toronto. George, what's the website?
LiveUrbanPlay.com.
Thank you. There we go. You want to type it in the side?
I certainly
before we
will.
go?
Yeah, Live Urban.
And then we'll shut it down. I'm gonna stop the recording, but if people want to stay on for an after show, they can. I know probably everyone else has to run, but I'm gonna stay on for a few minutes. Karlyn, it may be worth your while to stay on for a few minutes because there's some ladies out there that may want to connect with you.
Sure.
Okay. So there it is. There's the website address. We're gonna let you go. I know, Emmanuel, you gotta run. So good night, everybody. God bless, peace to you all, and keep the faith. Bye-bye.